Hello everyone, my name is Fred Hashtalk. I am the maker of a game called Our Last Days, and I want to thank you for stopping by and checking me out and checking the game out. Because man, we're about to have us some fun. Well, let me give you a little backstory on exactly how I got here and my experience. About 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had to give up my business. I had in my eyes and in my partner's eyes, everyone else that even knew us, we ran a very, very, very successful little video game shop. It was a classic video game shop. We fixed arcade machines. We sold retro games. We sold new games. We fixed systems, the whole 9 yards, and it was going great. One day, a seizure at work. It was bad. It was really bad. It was one of those days where I was actually there alone. And me and my wife talked for a bit, talked to my partners for a bit, and it was decided that maybe it would be a good idea if they just bought me out. Because there was just no way I could... Because there is a lot of stress with running a business, and I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't. So I sat at home for a few months, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I've got to be productive. You know, being at home, being the stay-at-home dad, and, you know, doing the chores and taking care of the kids, and yeah, that's important, and that's fulfilling to an extent, but, you know, I want to do something that feels like I accomplished something, that I'm doing something with my life that's important. So I got two things. I got two different books. One is 12 Rules for Life by Dr. Jordan Peterson, and I got The Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. And let me tell you something. If you've never read those books, take a few days, sit down, even if you do it on Audible, and which, since I've already read them, I listen to them on Audible at least once a week on each one. And it will give you a perspective that if you're in a bind, I don't think anything else, because I don't consider them self-help books. I consider them to be pointing you in the correct direction. You know, go this way, stop going that way. That way's unproductive. That way leads to a crappy life. Just don't do that. Go this way. As soon as I decided to do that, I was like, you know what do I enjoy? Well, I enjoy video games. I've been interested in developing them forever. I got my start doing my first kind of diving into it when I was about somewhere in my early 20s. And me and a bunch of my friends would get together over at their house and we'd mod WAD files from Doom, which was so fun. That editor was perfect. I loved that editor. I just loved the way the whole system was just fantastic. And then I stopped for a little bit and I got into retail. I worked retail for a while, but then, you know, it always went back to that. It always went back to, you know, I would love to develop video games one day. And so again, like I said, just read those two books and I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got to be productive. I've got to do something. And it's not even about the money. It's about doing something productive, putting something productive out into the world. Video games came back. Being an indie game developer came smashing me right in the head. And I got a chance to watch a couple guys on YouTube, which I'm not going to name right now. I'll do that in another video, just to kind of thank the guys that inspired me. And then I took some courses. I took some Udemy courses. I took some courses on Skillshare. And then I took some of Unity's courses. Because Unity, that's the engine I prefer to use. I've used Unreal. I've used Unity. I've used Godot. And even though those are the three main hitters right now, Unity, by a long shot, is the easiest to use. Less time consuming. It's a lot easier for me anyway. It's a lot easier to debug. It's a lot easier to find my errors. And I just, overall, to me, it's easier. I know everybody's got their own preferences, and that's basically what this is. It's a preference. Taking all these courses, and I'm doing all this, and I develop a few games, you know, nothing really major, just a couple that I put on itch.io, and they go up and they go down and they go up and they go down. And then I remember that something that I watched that somebody said, you have to make some sucky games and release some sucky games to become a really good indie developer. And that is very, very true. Very, very true. I think I had to restart and start Last Dayz or any iteration of that IP 20 or 30 times. And man, I released a lot of builds around this particular IP. Everything from RPGs to, let's see, I did an RPG, I did a first-person shooter, I did a racer, I did a runner, and they were all okay. That's what I took from it. There's been something missing from the gaming industry for a long time. And this is only my opinion, this is only my perspective, is that the fun, it seems like the fun is all gone out of it. You know, we're an entertainment media. It's supposed to be about sitting down at the end of the day after you've had a long day at work, or you know, whatever your situation is, sitting down with your favorite game and just kind of blocking the world away and just getting immersed in the story, getting immersed in the gameplay, and just having a good time. Some of these games you can't have a good time, and I'm not going to name any games. And that's where this whole premise started. And then I thought, you know, but I don't want to go back and do another first-person shooter horror, because those have been done way too many times. Way too many times. I don't want to do an RPG. I might have some RPG elements in my game, but as far as doing a full-fledged RPG, it's just, that's saturated too. And the mechanics and the gameplay and the way that Last Dayz is being presented, it's something that somebody hasn't done in a very long time. So here's the hook. And no, I don't work for Microsoft. I just use their controller because I like it. See this? 16 buttons on this thing, which means I can map 16 different functions for the player to use on this. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want your 10 fingers to do 16 different things to sit down and enjoy a game? Enjoy some entertainment. Watch a story. To me, no. Not acceptable. So, basically, what I did in a nutshell was I took every idea I had and I said, okay, how can we make this easier for the user? So here's the hook. 90% of my game only takes a single button press. One single button press. And you may think to yourself, well, that kind of sounds boring. Kind of sounds... How much can you do with one single button press? Oh, you'd be surprised. We blow up walls with a button. Here's some of the different mechanics in it. We blow up walls. We open chests. We open locked doors. We open regular doors. We blow up rocks to find hidden treasures. We burn bushes. All. And that's not even all the mechanics. With a single button press. That's it, a single button press. So yes, our Last Dayz is a little bit on the story heavy side, a little bit, but it's not overwhelming. It's not going to make you read a 1,000-page novel to get what the story is. So basically, I'm at the point now, the demo, it's not as polished as I want to be, but it's a better version of the demo I had before. So that's going up on itch.io. Anywhere where I put this video, description, man. It's going to be down there. Go down. It's going to be posted on itch.io. I want everybody to try it, tell me what they think. But I think that particular hook is going to be very important. Combat. Combat's been so saturated with the same boring. Well, 10 years ago it wasn't boring. Now it's boring and repetitive. Seems like all of the combat is find enemies, point at enemies, shoot at enemies, shoot their head blows off, shoot their leg blows off. At the time of stuff like that happening, it was innovative. But we're stale right now, and I don't want that. So combat in this game is going to be more, how do I put it, stealthy? You're going to get a lot more stuff for killing stealthily than you are. And yes, there will be normal combat, but it's not going to be, it's not combat like you're thinking. I know what you're thinking in your head, like, it's not combat like you think. I'm trying to step out of the box, and then the box inside the box, and then outside of that box. I'm trying to go as wide as I possibly can because I want to be different, but I also want to get this story across. Because here's the big kicker. All these story ideas and everything else, we are going to be a video game studio first and foremost, especially with this IP, because I want to do a lot of things with this IP. But eventually, I want to make some movies. Really think, especially how stale the movie industry is right now. Because I honestly can only think of 2 movies that I'm interested in the last year. Come on. And I don't mean to be so critical. I'm trying not to be negative. Actually, I'm not being negative. I'm just saying how it is. So, a couple things that we need to get this project just thrusted forward. First off is social media. I've started a social media campaign. It's only been a week and a half. I'm waiting until about 30 days before I start ripping my hair out, which I don't have very much left. But I'm waiting 30 days before I start ripping my hair out and thinking, oh my God, this whole social media thing is going down. So definitely needed help with social media. We're going to start a Kickstarter campaign. So if you guys are watching this on Kickstarter, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys for watching. I really, really do. Another thing, the capital to be able to do this, it's not even near what I thought it was going to be. I always thought in my head, and I don't know why, but I always thought in my head that it takes at least $500,000, at least $250,000 at the bare minimum to make any game. And boy, am I wrong. I am wrong. Like, if you looked up wrong in the dictionary, there would be a picture of me going like this. I'm really that wrong. It doesn't take that much. Most of the capital that's going to be spent is paying for people's time. Because I'm not doing this all on my own. I mean, there's a lot of lessons that I learned, but mostly is just because you're solo indie doesn't mean you're solo indie. You can ask for help. It doesn't hurt to ask. Just ask for help. So I've got some stuff from the asset store. I am sticking to one company on the asset store for all my 3D modeling, and what they don't make for me, I just go and make myself. So I'm doing that. Oh, localization, definitely. We want to really take care of the localization. I want it to be in at least 6 different languages. That way, when it's released on Steam, I really honestly think that it will be so much better for the general public if it was in multiple languages. English, Spanish, Portuguese, Mandarin, what was the other ones? Hindi. I have the list here somewhere. But I'm trying to do this unscripted because I want what I'm saying to, come from right here. But I think localization is going to be really, really important because I know what it feels like to go on to Steam and try out a game and it's not in the language that you speak or you read, and you really enjoy the game. That's happened with, for me anyway, it's happened with a lot of JRPGs. So there's that. Then there's the accessibility. Accessibility is very, very important. That's a big thing in the industry right now. A lot of companies are pouring a lot of resources into accessibility options. Like last week I seen this kid. It was absolutely freaking amazing. He was playing Call of Duty with his feet. One of the reasons he could play Call of Duty with his feet is because they have accessibility options that let that kid play his favorite games. And I think that's just incredible. So the more accessibility options and how to implement them in the game. Because like I said, it's going to be, again, there's the hook right there. One single button. So it's going I think our accessibility options will be much easier than the guy sitting next to me. I really honestly think it'll be that way. I mean, and that's, other than like PR help and everything else, I think it's really honestly the only thing that we need. I'm in talks now with an artist, a local artist, because I would really, really love if this goes the way I know it's going to go, because I know it's going to go this way. But when it goes the way I know it's going to go, I want to take guys that are local around here, around my area, local artists, local coders, 3D modelers, the whole nine. I got a college that's less than 2 miles away. There's got to be somebody in this town who is interested in doing this and coming over to the Tasmania studio. We're gonna have at the beginning of the year. We're gonna have an office. We're gonna have the whole 9 yards. We're gonna have the studio in there. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic because right now I'm working from home. That's another thing that's been. It's hard to work from home. If any of you that's tried to do a job from home would definitely know, it is really, really difficult to work from home. It really is. So I'm hoping to get the office. And other than that, I mean, there really is. This thing is going to be so much fun. So much fun. I mean, I'm having fun developing it. So before I go, let me give you a snippet of what the story is. So here it goes. In this world, every piece of lore that you have ever read about, whether it be demons or vampires or ghouls or witches or werewolves or zombies or whatever, they all exist. And for a long time, people have been getting along. They've all lived in peace. There's going to be a whole story arc as far as the treaty that all these different, right now they're being called clans, but all these different clans agreed to, whereas everyone can live in peace, everyone can live together in harmony, and there doesn't have to be any wars or destruction. Well, then somebody comes along wanting to, and I'm not giving away this part because this is the good part, but I'll give you a little bit to go on. Somebody comes along that needs to do something, but also involves getting every one of those clans to war with each other. Say, this person has been around for a very, 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 very long time. Very long time. It's the kind of story that you don't really see much. It's also going to be episodic. So the first chapter that comes out, and this will be June. I believe it's in June. Yeah, on my calendar I said June. So first chapter will be released in June. There will be 4 chapters behind that. The first chapter is going to be just an introduction to the world, the gameplay, what the main story is. At the end of chapter 1, you'll know who the main protagonist and the main antagonist is going to be of the game. And then those 4 chapters are going to go, each one of them is going to walk you through what it's like to be part of each one of those clans. So like chapter 1 will be the opening story, chapter 2 will be humans, chapter 3 will be werewolves, chapter 4 will be vampires, chapter 5 will be zombies, and then we'll have a conclusion. So yes, this game's going to go on for a long time. I've got a lot of plans for it, and I think it's going to work. And the way this is going to be monetized is really simple. Really, really simple. The first base game, the first part of it, that one, I'm going to do it one of two ways. I'm either going to just do $20 for the very first part, and you're going to get all the chapters as DLC for nothing, for free. Or we're going to make the first part free and say $5 for each chapter. Haven't decided which route I'm going to go. I want to monetize it as easily as humanly possible for people that are playing it. I don't want them feeling that they're getting gypped. I don't want them feeling like that somebody's trying to steal their money. I want them to get enjoyment out of this. I don't like loot crate systems. I don't like the traditional DLC. I don't like the free-to-play models right now, because most of the free-to-play models, they're all buy to win. Well, I take that back. There's one that's not buy to win that is still to this day one of the top games, top MMOs that are just beautiful. I hope they never change. I really hope they never change. And then that's another space we're going to get into. There's going to be some... I don't think this needs to be a live game, because it's really not set up to be a live game, but I can see the live service being a part of this game for PvP, which that's going to be a whole nother ball of wax once we get that. But I want all the chapters to be up and done before that happens. I just think fleshing out the story and knowing where you are is going to be very important. Oh, and each playable chapter right now, as the timeline is probably going to be about 5 to 7 hours of gameplay per chapter. And once the first one comes out, subsequent chapters will be once every 30 days. I haven't decided if it's going to be 30 or 60 days. I think it's going to be 30 because most of the stuff's already done. It's just implementing it. So I think we're going to be good on that front. But I've babbled on way too much. I know this video should only be about 20 minutes long. So let me say, for everyone who has stuck around to the very end of this, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Please follow the links down below, whether you're here on Facebook or you're here on YouTube or you're catching me on Twitter or you just stumbled upon me on itch.io. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Go down to the description and get a copy of the demo. Tell me what you think. Tell me what changes you would like to see. Tell me if you like the idea of the hook. And if you got any questions, feel free to email me. I'm going to have some promotional stuff going on within the next week, and I'll let you guys know about that. I'll let you guys know about the Kickstarter campaign, the whole 9 yards. I want to be completely transparent about everything that we're doing, everywhere we're going, and everything we're planning, because that's why I'm doing this. I enjoy it. Puts a smile on my face by the end of the day, and I'm doing it for you guys. I want you guys to enjoy this stuff too. All, like I said before, at the very beginning, where'd the fun go? Find the fun. All right, we'll find it too. I'm not worried about it. So I love you guys very much. Thank you all for your support. Again, just download the demo. Give it a shot. Tell me what you think. Okay. Love you guys. Gotta go. Got a lot of work to do. And I will see you guys in the next one.